Captain Eric here. And it's September 17th, 2018, and we're still in the middle of the Florida red tide. It's really stinky here. I don't know what's happening, but red tide makes things really stinky. I've never dealt with red tide before. This is very concerning. Let's learn a little more about red tide, because there's no fish to be caught. A week ago, we went to the Sunset Beach cleanup. We thought we were gonna volunteer, pick up some cigarette butts, some trash, maybe a chip bag here and there. But we found something different. And we'd heard about red tide all week. We'd heard about it down in Sarasota and Venice and all the terrible fallout that was happening down there, but it finally started creeping north. I don't know if we're supposed to swim in this or not either, but there's definitely something going on out there. I see death, I see life, it's all part of it, I guess. I can see all sizes of different fish down there, from pinfish, glass minnow, greenbacks. I can see a puffer fish out there. We gotta stop feeding this stuff because fish obviously don't like that. Right now I'm walking out to Treasure Island Beach. The smell is absolutely horrendous. I think it's getting worse as the further north I travel. And it is making it putrid. Commerce is all shut down. A couple of officials from the Pinellas County hopefully doing something to clean up some dead fish. Red tide is not actually red in the water. It's kind of got this brownish, dull, dirty water kind of look to it. There's an old saying that we have down here in Florida that an old fisherman taught me. It's pretty simple. When the Gulf is brown, the Gulf is down. Many causes for red tide. I really hope our human activity isn't one of them, because this is bad. Devastating for economies, devastating for my economy, and fish don't like that. Oh, and the tickle in the throat. There is that tickle in the throat thing that happens too. Ugh. You feel it in the back of your sinuses each time you inhale. It's almost like there's a little bit of something else in there. Almost kind of how pollen feels, but much stinkier. Red tide's finally getting to the point where they're actually taking boats and cleaning stuff up. You can see it right up here. Right in there, that's a boat, and they're actually going around with big nets. And they're picking up all the dead fish. Inside here, John's Pass. We're at John's Pass. Dead fish floating everywhere. You guys recognize that? It's my favorite bait. And it's dead. When you want to go fishing and there's red tide, it's something you got to learn, that maybe it's time to take a break and maintain the gear and the reels, because red tide's kind of like a great big blizzard. We'll have to weather the storm until all our fish come back. And it's so stinky. myfwc.com will get you resources to learn all about the red tide. It's where I started doing my research, because, you know, this is new for me too. I'm a beginner when it comes to Florida and its red tide, and it is something to learn. So how does this red tide affect us and our fishing? Snook season just opened, and when the red tide hits the water, they want us to release all snook, all redfish, despite if it's healthy looking or not, because we want those populations of fish around, and they're already getting hit pretty hard. So it's all catch and release for those species right now. Well, According to the FWC, if fishing, fish are actually okay to eat as long as they are alive. Don't want to eat the dead fish. I learned that shrimp and crabs are still okay to eat, but you gotta make sure to clean them out. Take all the green stuff, all their guts, that vein that's in the back of them, those things come out during red tide. Also, shellfish like oysters, mussels, etc., clams, those are all out. They say that the brevetoxins are not detectable by sight, smell, or taste, and they cannot be eliminated through freezing or cooking. So those oyster, mussel, shellfish, clam lovers, not during the red tide. So for better or worse, the red tide is here, and learning how to deal with it and fish with it and not be affected by it so much is something that we have to pay attention to. And speaking of paying attention, we really need to pay attention to what is feeding the red tide and do our best that we can to not feed that red tide, especially when it gets close to home. So until next time, please click subscribe, leave me a comment. If you knew about red tide or maybe something I forgot, please tell me. I'd love to hear about it. Because as far as I'm concerned, my fish need to come back. They need to be mighty, and my water needs to be clean again. For us, for them, because fish like us.